we're getting a special return for Kayla Harrison.
Yes.
November 24th, that is one day before yours truly's birthday.
Oh.
So she will be back there taking on Julia Budd. And then for Bellator 301, which is Chicago,
Back
Dominic,
to
back to
Chi-Town again, man.
so perhaps we make another trip. Who knows? That's 2 weeks before. I think it's November
When it
10th.
November 17th, I think.
Oh,
The
so
week
1 week
before.
before. Okay, so November 17th, you will see Yaroslav Amosov take on Jason Jackson. Another title fight where Sergio Pettis and Patchy Mix are in the co-main. That's a crazy co-main event.
Mm-hmm.
You get your next fight in the lightweight Grand Prix, Patricky Pitbull taking on Alexander Chablis. And a grudge match here, Rafael Stotts taking on Danny Sabatello. Dominic, over the course of October and November, Bellator is going to have 6 title fights.
Whew. Damn.
Tell me there ain't a cell coming. What the hell is this?
They're trying to just
There ain't
get
gonna be
everything
no
situated.
titles left.
Gee, man,
But
that's crazy, dude.
honestly, can I just say this? I think this is a better card than 300.
Ooh,
Not as many title fights, but these fights I'm
the
much
name
more
value's
interested
good.
in. I
I
mean,
wish
Amosov Jackson being at the top is kind of interesting. Like I feel like Pettis Mix is
I wish they would get a main event. Yeah.
that's the main event in my eyes. But
Yeah.
Yaroslav Amosov is such a talent that I'm excited to see him and Jason Jackson, kind of a long overdue title shot. But then you're talking Pitbull Chablis, and then which is when you're seeing a fight, is it like is it a fight that makes me pop when I read the names off? No, but it's in the lightweight Grand Prix, so I'm excited to see how that advances. But Stott Sabatello, I mean, you're talking some
Yeah.
bangers on that card.
Yes. That is a great card. They put the two bantamweights on there too. You got to think there's a reason behind that, since the Grand Prix will technically be finishing up and we can have number one contenders again if Bellator stays Bellator, I should say. That is a
Mm.
stacked card. They don't mess around when they go to Chi-Town, dude. This is going to be their third trip there since last November when we went. They went once earlier this year, and then they're doing it again here in November. They don't mess around. They're putting multiple title fights. They're putting multiple big names. Amosov, dude, that 27-0. And a lot of people, I don't think, realize how good he is. He had that layoff where he was doing all the stuff in the Ukraine for his country. He's back. Jason Jackson, like you said, has been on a tear. He lost his, not technically his Bellator debut, but the debut of this stint, and he's won 6 in a row ever since against really good competition. Probably get slept on because of the amount of decisions that he has,
Mm-hmm.
but that is a good challenge for Amosov. He could keep that perfect record intact. But Pettis and Mix is like, that's my favorite fight in Bellator that they can do right now. I love it so much. I wish they were getting the main event, like we just said. Please, if you're gonna watch this fight, people, watch that co-main event because it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad there is a promotion out there that is giving us some love over here in the Midwest. I don't know if Chicago is technically part of the Midwest, but
It's close enough.
it's close enough. And if because to me, Dominic, this kind of screams that Bellator is not going to be around much longer. So if that's
Doing
the
this back
case,
to
if
back,
they
yeah.
get sold to the PFL, hopefully the PFL carry the mantle, be the promotion that shows some love to the Midwest, because the UFC sure shit ain't doing it. Besides coming to Ohio once every 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Dominic,
dude.
Kayla Harrison is back, and
Kayla's
there's
back.
this requires further analysis. What better people to analyze something
Than
than
our neighbors.
two guys named the below average Joes? I mean, but we had all been told Kayla Harrison not participating in this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being that she was supposed to be on a part of the PFL pay-per-view super fight division or
Fights,
whatever it's
yeah.
called. And she had even told Ariel Hawani way back in I don't know if this was in the spring or maybe still in the winter time, that she was expecting, an announcement and about the first super fight card and that she would be fighting. Like this was expected to happen before November 24th.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs the question, were they sort of forced into this, like trying to give her a fight because
Yeah.
maybe plans changed once Francis Ngannou and Jake Paul put the pen to paper?
I think so, 100%. This is her just getting back a fight, to have a fight this calendar year. Otherwise, you're leaving still your biggest active name on the roster out for a whole year. Just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. So now, not only do we get, 6 title fights on one card, but we now get a 7th featured fight as well. So 7 fights on a pay per view, Noah, in the PFL. What could go wrong? But I'm excited to see her back. It's Julia Budd, which, is really, it's one of the biggest, it is the biggest name outside of Pacheco that Kayla has fought. So, we it's a little bit later than we would have liked. We would have liked to see her have this type of fight sooner, but she is at least getting it better late than never. And I'm excited to see, this is going to be a whole year since she's been out. Is she going to be rusty? Is she going to be healthier now? Is she going to enjoy having this layoff? Because you got to think, doing so many seasons like she's done with 4 fights a year, that's got to have wear and tear. So I would almost kind of lean to the side of a year off might be good for her. So I'm excited to see her back. I think it is the activity thing. Don't keep your biggest name on the shelf for a whole year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Obviously, when Jake Paul and Francis signed, I'm sure that threw a wrench in original plans. I mean, now we're not even getting a pay-per-view until, 2024, but we don't even know when in 2024.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to fight here and still make her way onto that inaugural super fight card.
Yeah, you're probably right. I, as much as you're painting the picture of it being like a good thing that she's taking this time off, which I do agree for her, probably for her health. I mean, she did lose her last fight. Let's not forget that. That's it's a tough way to, losing that O, that can be particularly tough on the mental state of certain fighters. I've sensed a lot of frustration in the interviews that I've seen of Kayla
Yes.
Harrison,
Yeah.
where, a little behind the curtains here for stuff that maybe we don't even know the full extent of. Seems like she was kind of ready to leave the PFL when her contract was up. PFL matched the deal, it seems like.
Yeah.
So then she's brought back in, and then they just kind of put her on the couch, sit her on the shelf.
Yeah.
You're not part of the season. We got bigger plans for you, and then big plans are just, where are they?
Exactly.
And now they bring her back to fight Julia Budd. Really? This was the big plans,
Right.
Where's Chris Cyborg? Where's Cyborg at? Where's the pay-per-view super fight division? She's probably thinking, I can fucking main event a card. Why the fuck we need to wait for Ngannou and Jake Paul? She's like, why don't I get a card?
Yeah, probably.
Which
that's got to be frustrating.
Don't know if I agree with her, but she didn't actually say that, so maybe I just shouldn't have taken the shot there. But all respect, Middletown, Ohio zone, and that's our neighbor basically. So, yeah, I think it's a solid fight. I'm glad to see her back. Definitely
weird circumstances.
Yeah, the vibes are still a little off with her and PFL. I feel like the PFL are just kind of they're really just trying to keep her name as high a value as they can until they're willing to strike on that big fight, whatever it is, and on whatever card it is. That's seems like we're in the calm before the storm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to hear more about that contract situation and where she sits now. Like, once this fight's over, what does it look like for her? Does she have X amount of fights left? Is there another season in the contract? Is it only pay-per-view stuff? Like,
it'll be. I am curious how long her contract is re-upped for. Like, for all I know, her contract ends at the end of this year. I actually don't know that.
She had one way earlier this year, and I feel like she talked about it, but it's been so long ago. I want to get
and I felt like she said that if at the end of the year, if she didn't fight, like no ties, she
could just leave.
No strings attached, and she gets paid either way.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just them trying to get one more, pop in ratings or something until they. So a lot of questions. Maybe I should have listened. I think she was on MMA Hour last week or this week, so maybe I should have watched it. But
now we've got homework to do.
Yeah, we just don't do anything around here. So, with that, Dom.